Hey guys, well it is super cold here in Atlanta. It's in the 30s. That is pretty atypical. So I guess it's time that we better get this roof rack up in case we need to put any kind of gear on there for the winter. All right guys, so one of the last projects we've got here, next to last really, is roof rack. So this car, as you can see, came with no roof rack. I ordered a kit, again, from Powerful UK. If you've watched the previous videos, you'll get the details on that website and why they're so great. But essentially it clips into the factory locations, which are hidden under a trim piece. I'm gonna walk you through how to do that, and we're gonna get this installed. I went for matte black to match the overall look, in contrast to the LR3, which had a front runner rack that really went from front to back. It was flat, it had slats, it had connections, very, very off-road, very overland. This time we're going with just some simple cross rails. Frankly, for what I do, and probably I'm gonna use this car for, it's running a Home Depot, it's putting up wood up there, stuff like that. If we go on a trip, it's putting a carrier box across the top, which of course those rails will accomplish. Occasionally some bikes, things like that. So again, trying to be a little more restrained with this build, a little bit less raw off-road, just given kind of the luxury component. But without further ado, let me go ahead and get all the parts, walk you through what those are, and let's get started. All right guys, so this is a kit from Powerful UK. This is what you get. Basically 2 crossbars. As you can see right here, they are locking, which is definitely a plus. I've never found someone's gonna steal your crossbars if they happen to be kind of the standard factory look. I don't know. I'm sure it happens, but anyway, they do lock. It's kind of a nice bonus. 2 of those, and then of course, these 2 rails. So these, as you can see where these connection points are, those will actually clip into some locations that are hidden underneath the trim piece on your Range Rover Sport if it did not come with a roof rack. So those will be kind of the main gist of the installation. Once that's done, the crossbars just snap and slide in and lock. And then it comes with the rest of the kit. So these are the end pieces, the trim pieces that are, as you can see, sloped. They go in either end of the rails just to finish that look. And then of course all the parts and pieces. So you've got your attachments, you've got a drill bit. We'll talk about what that's for here in a little bit, and a little bit of adhesive. So that's the kit, super simple. I think it ran me about 180 bucks total, which is a steal. If you go to REI or one of those stores, any of you guys know, for Yakima, Thule, what have you, you could pay just for this kind of kit, $500 to $1,000. Not to say the quality is the same, but for the amount of time I'm gonna use it, this is probably more than adequate. Let's go ahead and break this stuff down and get started on the first step. Step 1 is gonna be to basically open up this location right here. We wanna pull this black piece of trim that's up here all the way off. It's gonna give us access to the connection points, which are actually down in here. I'm gonna use a trim puller. As I've said in some of the previous videos, if you do not own a set of these, they're like 10 bucks. They are so useful. We're gonna go ahead and get those pulled, and then we'll go from there. So I found the best way appears to be coming in here through the side. So you just give it a little pull, and then you're gonna be able to really just take it from there in terms of going all the way back. Since I already have those holes drilled, that's honestly was the hardest part. So this part's easy, but you basically just want to make up each of these rails. So I've attached these end pieces, they just slide in. One thing you do want to note is that this weather stripping, you may need to trim so that it fits nicely inside of these grooves on both ends. We've got those in. We're not going to screw these in yet. We want to, there's a set screw. Here's a Phillips head. I want to go ahead and get these main connection points into the roof on the car first, and then we'll go ahead and set these just to make sure everything's good, because one thing you also want to be able to do is to remove that adhesive and set that. The thing you're going to want to do is attach the connections. So you're going to take one of these, it's a threaded bolt, 2 of these supplied washers, and then one of these clear plastic set washers. You're going to take this and push it on through. You're going to take 2 of the black washers, and you're going to go ahead and put those on. You want to go ahead and push on this from behind so that these go all the way up flush. And then last but not least, we'll take this clear washer, and we'll also push that on as well and push it tight. That'll keep the entire assembly like that. So we're gonna do that for the other 2, basically all 3 of these points, and then we'll go ahead and attach this to the car. So a little pleasant surprise. So the instructions from Powerful talk about removing this entire piece of trim and then drilling this out to create a hole or space to attach the roof rail to the car. Mine from the factory actually had some plastic tabs here that covered up the threaded holes that are into the body already. So really all you have to do is remove those. There's another one down here, and then there's a third one all the way at the back, and you're gonna have access to these threaded locations to put the rail in. So it saves me a bunch of time. So I'll go ahead and knock those out, and then we'll get the rail prepared. Also, just a quick note on these, they are threaded, and so when you're taking these out, you want to actually twist them. If you try to pull them up, you are likely to break off this bottom piece right here, and then that will get stuck down in here, and then you're gonna have a drill out situation, whatever. So not that you couldn't fix that, but just keep in mind, these are threaded, and so I just took a pliers to kind of lift the side, get a little bit of spot to grip, and then twist them out. Okay, so we've got the rail kind of loosely set in place here within those 3 holes that we've prepped. Another important note here, you see these little ridges all along this rail. These are all the points where the cross rails will slide in and lock. Got to make sure that these ridges are facing into the car. So the smooth side without ridges should be facing to the exterior of the vehicle, ridges side, interior of the car. So we'll go ahead and get this one tightened down, and then we'll do the next one. The rails are attached to the roof. The last step is going to be to attach the cross rails. So you're going to want to take the set of keys that were supplied and go ahead and unlock all 4 of these ends and leave these in the fully open position. Basically allow claw that's in here that locks the feet down to get into position and then lock down. So let's throw these up and I'll show you the final product. So there is only one location on here where these can go in, right here in the center of the rail. You'll see there are all these little notches. These are areas where you can position the rail so that it's adjustable. You have 1, 2, 3 in the front. You have 1, 2, 3 positions in the back, but in the center, one that's much larger, it's got this notch across the back, which is cut out the width of the foot. So that is where you have to position these. You can also extend these in and out. They kind of slide a little bit to get the length right. So we're going to hop over to the other side and get this foot in. We're going to move it up, and then we're going to use these to lock them down in the position we want. We'll do the exact same thing with the other one. All right, so a quick look at the finished product. I'm really liking how this looks. Love the fact that the rack definitely balances out the bottom in terms of just height. You know, I was very much used to the LR3 having a little bit more height, but more importantly, kind of the black accents on the top, kind of tying in the black on the bottom. So really liking this rack. Like I said, I mean, this is pretty much good for what I need on this car. You know, don't need anything too over the top. So, you know, loving how this looks. Overall, build, I think, came together quite nicely. The one main thing left as part of the build, which I'll cover in the next episode, is doing a resonator delete. So this car being a supercharged sport, I want to give it a little bit more of an exhaust note. One of the ways to do this with this car without spending a bunch of money is to just delete one of the resonators. So I'll walk you through that. I'll actually bring up a diagram in the next video, show you what you need to remove. But this should be like a $75 modification, something like that, to the car through like your local muffler place. So stay tuned for that. I just wanted to give you kind of the overview here of the roof rack install. But again, very pleased and really loving the results. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on the channel. I've got this build going in addition to my 2014 991 Porsche 911. That build's wrapping up. We've got a couple things left on that to knock out, so stay tuned for that. Thanks always for watching. Again, really hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments on any of the upgrades I've done so far to the Range Rover Sport, don't hesitate to leave me a comment down below. To me, that's really the best part about doing these, is connecting with the community and users like you. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks again.